Social media has so many benefits to journalism. This is just simply one of them. Data has been huge and will continue to be huge as journalism evolves in the future. Companies like the BBC, New York Times, Washington Post actually offering their data to other website operators through APIs. You know, the API is what makes Google Maps work on everyone else's websites. Well, you can do the same thing with other kinds of data. And that's what these news organizations, which used to be so protective of everything, are now opening themselves up and allowing other people to use their data on their websites. So this is a really promising development as well. A couple of computer programmers in the UK started something called Openly Local, and they are out there and they're scraping and mining data from city council sites, essentially, throughout the country, and they're making that available to people. So this is computer programming as journalism, and there's lots of other examples of that as well. Adrian Holovati, of course, who developed Every Blog is here, and that's a perfect example of that. Platforms, right? We're all carrying a mobile phone, accessing journalism, performing journalism on different devices. Who can guess what the average age of your first cell phone is in America? How old are you when you get your first cell phone? 5? No, not that yet. 9. In the UK, it's 8. Okay? I was just speaking at college campuses 2 weeks ago, and I was asking these kids who are, 20 years old, essentially, how many of you were 9? And none of them were. They were all saying it was about 13, 14, 15 when they got their first mobile phone. So that age just keeps going down. So you can imagine how important this is going to be going forward. A couple of examples real quickly of how to use mobile with journalism that I talk about in the book. A company called Utterly has a really interesting website where you can just call a phone number and record an audio file that then gets sent in an email to somebody, which you can post on a website. So the Toronto Star uses this in breaking news coverage, where the reporter on the scene will file a quick 30-second radio-style report that will appear on their website within a couple of minutes. And they found that actually their users enjoy that experience more than they do video or slideshows or even text. And this is a really fascinating project out of Ohio that Media General is doing, where they found a correspondent program. They got 700 different high schools to find one correspondent who would be willing to text the scores from high school football games into them. So they don't have 700 reporters, right, to be at these high school football games. So they just got other people to participate. So what they had is basically the best high school sports coverage website for football, because all of the scores by quarter were on one website. They then sold sponsorships to this and actually made a boatload of money out of it. So not only was it great from an information perspective, but it was also a moneymaker for them too.
Did they share that money with the contributors?
Did they share the money with the contributors? They did not, actually. So the contributors were just part of the program, contributing the information for the greater good of everyone else getting the information. But, as the infrastructure that they're providing there, that's how they, got their money from it. So anyway, so that's a really quick drive-by of just some of the high-level concepts that I see emerging in journalism next. The book talks more about the specific skills and tools that you need to get going in this age, and has an excellent foreword written by Jennifer Sizemore, who is the editor of MSNBC.com. And this is one of my favorite quotes that came from that foreword. And it really is about an open mind, and that's what's happening now, and that's why we're seeing so many incredible, new, exciting opportunities in journalism, because people are opening their minds up to the concept that, hey, journalism doesn't have to always come from a newspaper, or it doesn't always have to come in the printed form, or in just a website. It can come in so many, many different forms. So that's what we're going to see going forward, is many, many more new experiments. Here's a quick look inside the book, the table of contents. What we have is, really just sort of a blow-by-blow view of what the skills and the tools are that are needed to get going in this world. And so it's really appropriate for newsrooms, for college classrooms, for independent individuals, freelance journalists, or maybe someone who's at a media company who's no longer at a media company because of one of the many layoffs. And it takes, hopefully, someone who is proficient in one area of journalism and introduces them to all of the other skills that you might need. So maybe you're a great investigative reporter, but you don't know so much about video and you don't know so much about blogging, and the book will get you started on that. And then each chapter has what someone on the Amazon reviews called a kick in the pants get going section. So just some really simple things to make you actually get going. Because all of this stuff once you bring an open mind to it, you actually have to start doing it to sort of figure out how it will work for you, because it's going to work for you differently than it maybe is working for other people, depending on what you're talking about. So it really is about a very open mind that you want to have, and also just really get going with it.